Hey, good morning, everybody. This is the professor with Day Trading for Success. So today we're going to be going over 5 different scanners. So you're going to want to stick around for that, as well as there's some questions about some of these amazing indicators that people are using once they get the stocks from the scanners to trade the different strategies, scalp and recoil, the gap and go strategy, a lot of strategies that other traders put out. These scanners can pick them up. They're specifically coded and designed to do that, as well as later on this video, you're going to want to check the second half, because there's like a 32-minute video that I recorded a year ago that is showing you how to program your own, not program, but I mean set up your own scanners on Thinkorswim, the details of how to build your own. So you're going to want to look for that at the end of this video if you don't already know how to do that. There's quite a few secrets about unusual volume and things like that to help you find stuff, and you don't pay a dime for it. They're just right there, and it's still just as helpful as when it came out a year ago. And then what I'm going to be focusing on in a minute is giving you really that edge that you can get these scanners that by just paying like a few dollars one time, because they do have coding in them, but you don't have to buy the $3,000 course or $300 a month service, because you get the same stuff. So that's kind of, I mean, look, everybody's can make the money they want to make, right? That's what they got to do. But you don't need to necessarily contribute to that. You can get them another way. So there'll be links to these, but let me go over them so you understand whether you really want them or not, because you can build your own that pretty much do the same thing, and that's what the second half of this video is. So stick around. There's a lot of other exciting stuff. The level 2 indicator I'm going to go into that's really making a huge difference with people scalping. I'm going to talk about that briefly too, so stick around, guys. There's a lot coming up.
Welcome to Day Trading for Success, where the professor, a former math teacher turned full-time trader and coder, guides beginners on how to trade for a living using proven strategies, breakthrough indicators, and lessons from essential trading books. The professor isn't a licensed financial advisor. Always consult a pro before diving into any strategies or demos you see here. Start smart, practice in a simulator, stick to a solid day trading plan, and don't forget to log every trade. Your profits will start with preparation. Thank you for allowing us to share in your journey. Please remember to subscribe, comment, give a thumbs up, and click that notification bell so you can be the first to receive more of our great content.
Okay, so welcome back, guys. I do have 6 screens here, and basically we're going to do the scanners first, okay? And then I'm going to show you what they look like on a chart as we find them. So this one right now is the scanner that's called the consolidation scanner. I have a link to the $1 Million Margin Club, and when you go over there, make sure they have a free scanner right now. You know, that doesn't cost you anything. So at the very least, go there just to download. They want you to go there so you can see all the cool books and stuff that they have. So pick up your free scanner, okay? And then if you want to, for a little bit more, they do have for like $4.99 some of these amazing scanners. Some of them I originally programmed that they bought from me, and then they have over there. So I support them. So this one is called the consolidation scanner, and what it does is it gets a price between $25 and $500, or $25 and $400. I have it at $400 on my own one a lot of times. And then 100K of volume, a minimum of 100K per volume in 1 minute. So in other words, you're getting a lot of volume in 1 minute. So if you trade on a 1 minute chart, that's really important for you, that it's moving a lot for you so that you have opportunities. This is also set for an ATR over $2. But the main thing is the coding that makes sure you're getting that kind of volume. So when we scanned, you had all these stocks come up. And this is used a lot in the RV strategy now, because now you can get, I don't want to complicate this. In the second half of this video, I show you how to set up a scanner for the RV strategy that's completely, totally free, okay? The difference in this one is it now has a code in it, why you might want to spend the $4. It has a code in it that will pick up stocks like this. that has a volume of over 100,000 that you would never get otherwise. And if we go look at that stock, so I have 6 screens around me, let's just take a look at that stock. So this is my, I've already traded a couple of times today, so welcome back if you saw those. And I will be streaming live in January for everybody, at free for everybody, like I had been doing before. Sorry, I'm looking down at the keyboard's not in its normal spot. So, all right. Now, keep in mind, my layout is extremely sensitive. So you want to have, don't get freaked out by these. Yours might not look like that. But let's just look at what this scanner does here. Oops. What it found for us. So this is the stock, BMNR, right, which is Bitmine. And then if we look here, we can see we can just look right down here. This is part of a indicator you can get. It's showing you that it's averaging over 105 volume per 1 minute. This is a 1 minute chart. That shows you what it's averaged over a 10-day period, 139 per 1 minute candle. So a huge volume for you to do like a strike and recoil, like you're getting in and you're waiting for it to recoil. That's one of the strategies that I stream, is we wait for it to go a certain direction, and it seems counterintuitive. It's like it makes a big move, but then you actually go against it, because the way these stocks trade that have these high volume, they don't just go in one direction. They go down and up and down, and you can usually catch the recoil. And that's why when you trade that strategy, you'll see me stream it, I say only go in 25% of your position. Now, since I'm giving you advice, I'm going to tell you that I'm not a licensed financial advisor. If you didn't see the disclaimer everywhere, so you should seek the advice of someone licensed before you try to emulate any of the demonstrations I have or anything that I say, because I am not licensed. So you have to protect yourself. Maximum loss per trade, maximum loss per day, trade in a simulator first. Now, to go back to what I was saying, you saw this go down a second ago, and then it recoiled up. So there was tons of opportunity to jump in at just 25% of your position and get out. And if you look over here, at these types of, now this is set for the RV strategy, but you can use it for strike and recoil. And what I'm going to be doing a lot, not to confuse you if you're new to this channel, the RV strategy is a range-bound strategy that's based on historical data, support and resistance levels, trading in a range, and then indicator driven, like helping make your decisions based on like the Scalp Pro, which shows you what's going on inside your candles, right? Buyers, sellers, volume, right? Then it gives an actual, there's some that even have a meter here. I don't have that on. And then when the volume increases over the last candle, it turns blue like that, sets an alarm like that direction, it's moving. And if you were to have the level 2, it's breaking out down. This is the level 2 indicator that's pretty amazing. And since I brought it up, I want to point out, and this is going to be about scanners, but I have to talk about this stuff one time so you see why the scanners are so important, right? That level 2 breakout said it was going to go down, and it went down. What it actually does is it only reads level 1. There's nothing on Thinkorswim that can see the trades coming up the pike. Full disclosure there, which says it all over the indicator. But what it can do is it can gauge what is being bought up or sold and how fast it's going. And then it tells you that, and it tells you a direction, usually with an arrow and an alarm. And you see that the shares are being absorbed. Like, picture it winding up like that. They're just buying, and then boom, once they're bought up, they go a direction. That and it's going to tell you the direction. So that's why the level 2 indicator can be very helpful. It takes a little bit of, and again, it's only reading level 1, but they call it level 2 because it's reading level 1 when you have your level 2 set up. Like, it's giving you insight of what might happen in the future. And that's all we have on these indicators, right? We only have what might happen in the future. Nothing tells you what's going to happen. They only tell you what might happen. And first person that says this is definitely going to happen, then you want to run from that YouTube channel, because there's nothing that does that. You just can get an edge, right? That's all you can try to do, is get an edge. But anyway, so this stock is tradable for the RV strategy, which is typically not the case with one that's this cheap. But with the addition of that scanner, how it did that, it made it. Now let's go to another one. Let's go to, say, Tesla, which is the second one on the list on the scanner. Now, I just had that set up with the Fibonacci levels here, so don't get confused by all the lines here. So what Fibonacci does for this strategy is it creates support and resistance levels. This is a 5-minute 10-day. Fibonacci is always set left to right. It can be high to low, but it's always left to right. So there's a low, there's the high. And then it opens up ceilings and floors, channels, right? So you look for those to possibly trade against. And as you can see, even though that Fibonacci was long ago, from way back there, you saw me snap it. That line was picked up perfectly. Now this pink one is 2 days back. And that was set for right then, so it's not the same thing. But this one was from before. Look at how perfect that is. And look at how it hit it here too. So that's why Fibonacci levels create historical data that's important. I know I'm going off scanners a little bit here, but the 5-minute 2-day did a similar thing, and the pink lines here. So it gave us additional levels to look for that are closer to what's just been happening. So when you're trading the RV strategy, besides marking historical data that goes that uses Fibonacci levels, which is considered to be nature's nature's historical data, basically nature's mathematical formula. That's what they call it. I had that wrong. Look at how well that was respected right there. I mean, that's not where it was drawn, guys. It was drawn here to here. Look how well it was respected there. Look at how it turned around right here. It's just not exact every time, but it's pretty close. I mean, it was drawn here, came back, did it again. This is why fibs are no joke, right? And since I'm almost explained the whole RV strategy, we're going to take a little bit further look at it. And we'll say technical analysis on this thumbnail. So why does a stock turn around, right? Now you picture a G-forces in a jet like Top Gun Maverick or something, and they pass out because they can't hold the G-forces. So think about that. Like the oxygen's too thin up here. So when it fades off, when a price fades off as it's going up, there's nobody there to buy the stock. There's nobody there to continue to send it up. So it's a liquidity void. And then you have liquidity pools as well. So you're looking for those. You're looking for abrupt turnarounds because most likely there's a higher probability they will repeat than not repeat. That's a pattern. So what the RV strategy does is something so simple. It just marks a level. You mark a level where these are. Let's just mark some of these and see what happens here. Just for the heck of it here. Some of the real no-brainers here, right? That would kind of be there. Now, when you really get into doing this, you kind of look across, and if they're close, you smooth them to other levels because you get the advantage of seeing, well, where did it respect that historical data? So like right in there, hit many levels, and then hit it again right there. So now your fib picked that up, but let's just, with those little bit of levels, let's just go back to the 1-minute chart here, which is ridiculously busy because it has other stuff going on it. And we'll just zoom in a little bit and we'll see. Look at that level. Look at that, guys. So if you knew that the oxygen was going to run out and it was going to turn around, you could have seriously taken advantage of this, right? Just right there, that one level. You don't know to respect it until you respect it. And you keep an eye too. That's almost at $450. So one of the things, since we're talking about it for technical analysis, you definitely want all the half and whole dollars. Now there is a indicator that shows that, but you can draw them yourself. All this stuff you can do yourself. People that spend money just do these because it's easier. That's all. Faster, easier, cheap to just do it. And now that's going to mark every half and whole dollar that's in that. Now I actually left it, so I'd have to set it. Let me go in there. So the great thing about this indicator is you can actually go in and set it. You can change where it's setting its price. So right now our price level is at $4.50. So we can just go up to $4.50, and then it'll go. It just moved so high. It moved beyond its. It moved beyond its range. So now we're going to be back in the middle of the range. So let me I know I'm going over a lot of stuff here. So let me zoom in. I just want to show you, if you're trading and you're new to this channel, how it is so important to understand that that's a liquidity pool. A whole dollar, a half dollar, sometimes even the quarter dollars. People set their trades. Oh, I'm going to go in at 450. I'm going to be really smart. I'm going to go out at 449. Before everybody does it at 450 or 449.50. 50-cent levels, whole dollar levels. Look at how this whole dollar level was respected. How if you knew that the price action was going to have trouble at this level, you could have gotten out of your trade, pocketed it, and waited for the next move when it really breaks it, and then moved it up. And how do you know when it's going to really break it? Well, the indicators tell you that too. Look at your MACD here. MACD making these go up, telling you to go down. This is an indicator too. It said it's going to go down and went down. This is part of the level 2 here. This is the level 2 that is actually telling you level 1. I want to make sure I keep saying that because somebody called me out on that. It says it all over the indicator. It's telling you when it gets absorbed in which way it's going to go before it does it. Look, why wouldn't you want the indicators, right? And I'm not going to go into every single indicator that's on here. If you trade with me, you can see there's all kinds of different ones. Right up here, you have the ATR levels, there's the ATR high for the RV strategy, and there's the ATR low. That's your original channel, and it broke that, but you would always look at that for support, your ATR, and then you have your ATR, the total ATR level, which is way up here. That's your half ATR level. A lot of stuff you can learn on this channel, but what you're really trying to do is, how do we know that this is going to happen? Fibonacci levels, guys, based on the RV strategy, how it says it over and over, day after day, the same thing happens, It's like just stealing. It's so easy to see it, right? Now, I don't want to downplay the significance of how you have to control your maximum loss per trade. But go in low share size, wait out these moves, and make money. All right, back to the scanners. So that was the very first scanner. And I wanted to show you how, when you went to a stock on that scanner, if you followed a little bit of a strategy, you could probably have made some big money. So now we're going to go to the next scanner. We're going to go to the Professor's Volume and Price 1-minute candle. Now let's look for that here. Actually, let me look to see what's in order on this. Yeah, so Professor's Volume and Price. So let's click that on. Let's scan. Now these are all linked over at the $1 Million Margin Club if you want them. Now this has 3 custom coding things in it, so you couldn't build this unless you knew coding. So it's taking a minute to find stuff here. So let's give it a minute. Now I have many different Thinkorswim accounts open right here. That's why I'm moving them around from place to place here. But let's try to get this. Okay, so it took a second to download that, so I edited We saved us some time here. So I'm back now. And so here's what it comes up with here. Now, what this is priced between $25 and $400. The ATR is above 3. Okay, that's your average true range over a 14-day period. It's got 10K volume minimum per 1 minute candle. So 10,000 volume per 1 minute candle. And it moves at least 15 cents in 1 minute. So if you're scalping, that's really important. So we already looked at that stock. Let's go to CRCL. Let me move this. CRCL should be here because I was looking at it earlier today. So that's got some previous. Are these current levels? I can't remember. Did I trade this today? I didn't think we traded this today. No. Okay, so those are previous levels. All right, so let's just get rid of those because they're not going to help us out. Oh, no, they're gone now. Okay, that's just your ATR. All right, sorry, guys. So now let's take a look at what this found for us. So what are we looking for? The most important thing is 15 cents in 1 minute. So if you look at either of these prices, like 22, that was at 33 cents a second ago. So it's already 14 cents. There it is. So it's 15 cents in way less than 1 minute. So what does that mean? That means it's giving us opportunities to trade it, right? And okay, I'm just making sure that's moving. Sometimes Thinkorswim things freeze, so you got to make sure things are reconciling over here a little bit and here. But yeah, so most of the time, especially this time of day, we shouldn't have this kind of problem. But anyway, so this is giving you viable action to trade. And that's one of the things when you want high volume in a 1 minute candle, and you want price at the same time, because if you have high volume and it's not moving, that usually means that it's so thickly traded across the top. You'll see the numbers will be like 2,000 and 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 and 5,000, and it won't move. It moves a penny at a time. So getting a stock that actually moves that fast, and there's a lot of them here, a lot of different ones you can see, find a price that's maybe closer to what you can afford if you're doing larger share size. I remember that we used to trade this all the time. IREN. It reminds me of the singer Ren. Let's see. Let's see what that looks like on this scanner. Oops, did I do that wrong? On this chart. There we go. Okay. So we'll open this up. Some of the things you're seeing down here, this is multi-chart alignment. Just so if you're wondering, this is going to tell you every 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour when those candles close. When these candles are going to cross that, it tells you when they're going to close. This is telling you, are they red or green? Why would you have such a thing? Multi-chart alignment. I talked about historical data. You're looking for what is the crowd doing, right? What are they doing? You get to see when they're about to make a decision on a 30-minute candle here, and they're looking to go down right now. When that flips in 20 seconds, and the absorption just hit it down too. So you have multiple things that are saying go down. Let's look at what it's moving. Is it moving 15 cents in 1 minute's time, or is it too thickly traded? So it was at 34 cents at one point. We'll wait a second just to see. Because, it can, at some points, it can be there and then not, it can come up. It might not. Yeah, so it's moving now. So, yeah, it definitely is moving right there within the range. So that means it's giving us opportunities. And as it crossed over, everybody went long, which is interesting because the absorption was short there and then it turned around. My thought would be this is about to turn right back around. And this would be a strike and recoil opportunity. Like as it goes up, you go short and you wait for it to turn around. And even the sellers were pretty high. Now the volume is broke over. It went under 100,000 per 1 minute candle, or 79. Let's wait and see. Let's just wait for a minute, because I would have definitely taken a short here. I would have got it up here like the 43 cents. So already 3 cents. Let's see what happens here. Got to hold it sometimes for a little bit, but I just want to call it without trading it for you guys and see. I'm going on multi-chart alignment a lot too. I mean, it was going down. So, you know, I would have been in some pain there originally, and now I would have been making money. Right now it's hitting the VWAP, so you want to determine, like down here it's telling you how many cents you should go for. Here's your target ranges. It's not a lot here. So I would only want to go for about 8 cents. And what did I pick it up at? 43? Yeah, so I already had 6 cents if I went out on the bid. So somewhere right in there I would have, as it hit the VWAP, but there I would have made the money on 100 shares, $80. No, $8, sorry. That would have been 1,000 shares. So yeah, I would have had 200 shares, 250. I would have made $15, $20 on that trade by just doing the recoil, strike and recoil. But the point is, the scanner picked up a stock that's tradable, and luckily I would have got out. I would have continued to look for this to go short, though. Now, I don't have any historical data, so I'm at a disadvantage. The fibs aren't set up. You'd want to do that other stuff. I mean, that's up to you, but that's what I would do. So that was that scanner. Very helpful. There's a link to all of these. Now, the next one is high a day. Okay, the professor's high a day. Now, this concept comes from like warrior trading, when you don't have to pay $3,000 and $800 a month for getting there. Whatever he charges, ridiculous. You can just get it here for like $4. So this has a code in it, and it's copying everything that not just his, but other services sell it for. Let me just scan to make sure. Yeah, so we scanned. So now let's see what it does for us, right? So this is high a day. It's continually updated. What does that give us, the high of day? So that gives us a price of $2 and above, 100K volume or more, consistently updates high of day. So our high of day was, is that an N there? Sorry, I don't have that. NEWP. So let's just see what it's at now. Now you're going to want to jump on these when they become, oh God, why isn't it doing that? You're going to want to jump on these when they kick off. This is a very inexpensive stock. So you don't see me trade this a lot. I do this kind of stuff on Lightspeed, where I know I'm going to get filled really quickly, and I pay for my trades. So this is very slow right now. It has a high day, so you want to keep an eye on it, but look how slow this is. This isn't moving. You know, when this first kicked off earlier, I mean, look at the volume here. This is just like horrible. 512. So you wouldn't. But this scanner comes in handy for those real momentum movers early in the day. Now this is kind of useless. But if you're looking for those and you don't want to pay an expensive thing, then grab that scanner. Okay, so let's go for another one. They're all going to be bad if I go to them right now, so because it's just a bad time of day for those. Now let's go to the next scanner. This is the gap and go. So this is another one that is specifically a strategy designed by Warrior Trading and some other traders. I can't think of that other guy that does that. That basically, I say it's designed by, they just everybody copies somebody else. He's just making a lot of money selling them. So, but now you can get it for like $4. So these have got codes in it. This is designed exactly. I mean, I have to be careful. I mean, I think it's exactly the same. My opinion is it's exactly the same as those people that charge. If it isn't, it's pretty gosh darn close to what it is. So let's check out some of these. And these have got coding in it. That's why it works. It's not, you can't build this on Thinkorswim without doing this. So, and they won't even know what to tell you to do. So NCPL. Now again, this happened already. You're not going to get these kind of things happening this time of day much, probably. So you want to look for these early in the market because they have a catalyst. You can see back here a while ago. Well, it's 1 minute, so that wasn't that long ago. Let's just take a look. You might get some level 2 action to kick off here. Very thickly traded, 7,000, 12,000. So is this going to move 15 cents? No. So this one is designed priced between $1 and $20, 100K volume or more, and then a 4% gap up before it's tradable. Gap up. Most people trade momentum stocks upward because you have to arrange to borrow from the broker and you pay a fee to go short. So it can be done. It's not that hard to set up if you're into that. But a lot of people just want to go long and they don't want to cut their profits. It's hard enough to make money. There's a solid tweezer move I would have traded. What did that do? 33 cents, 45 cents. So if you had 10,000 shares, you could have made some money there pretty quickly. What was that reading when it went there? It looked like the absorption said go up right there. That's your level 2, guys. That's that thing I was talking about. How it reads it. It told you to go up right there. It was absorbing upward, and it indeed went up. Again, we don't have historical data set up for this, and really, you would want to, on something like this, you definitely want to go with patterns only. You know, you'd want to look mostly for something like this. You'd probably want to go to your day chart actually and see, like, is that, you know, would that have come into play as it went up? You'd want to look at these levels where there's probably no oxygen, you know, and mark these kind of things on a day chart. I mean, I would have zoomed in to do better there, but it would have given you some idea like that was coming to a top. But you don't go by that. You go by level 2. You go by volume when you're trading gap and go. All right, so we covered, no, we did not cover all the scanners. So see, this is hard to borrow. You can't get it to go short. So let's go ahead and do, I think there's one more. No, I did those all right. Did I do that? 50K. Did I do the 50K? Did I skip one? I don't remember doing the 50K one. So this is going to make sure it moves 50K or more per 1 minute candle. You're getting a lot of the same stuff, but this has got an ATR 1.5. I can't remember if I showed that. But again, 50K or 100K per 1 minute candle. Sometimes when you're trading a mid cap that's moving, it's not going to go more than 50K in 1 minute. And that's one of the reasons that's more of like a mid cap trade, a tighter movement, the 50K scanner. I mean, I would just pick them all up and you could mess around, and I would watch the video that's coming right after this so you can build your own. And don't forget, guys, that I will be streaming live for totally free in January. I'm also traveling in January for those of you still here. So I won't be streaming all the time. I'll give specific dates so you can jump on board, do the scalp and recoil, or the, you know, the mixture of the RV and the scalp. In the meantime, a lot of you are on private invitation for Zoom, and I'll be showing the recap videos of those, how that went down on demonstration videos, so you can see, check out the archives. I mean, there's a lot of free information here. You don't need to buy this stuff. I don't sell courses. If you watch these videos, there's a lot here, guys. There's a lot here. Trading, I know I've lost 90% of my viewers right now, but for those of you that are still here, it's really not that mystical to trade. It's really just not that. It can be hard if you can't control yourself. But if you mark things out, like I talked about with support and resistance levels, if you mark things out with the fib, you mark the half and whole dollars. You find you find the levels that the crowd is trading in, and you follow the crowd. I've got a bunch of links to some good books here too, like Tom Hogarth, who does Best Loser Wins. He's more of a day trader / scalper. He doesn't really do 100,000 volume on a 1 minute. He's not looking for scalping, so he'll say, don't trade with the crowd, because the crowd is 90% wrong. Only 10% of day traders succeed. So why would you want to trade with the crowd, right? You want to find your own information. You want to find something you want to learn to read when a stock is moving. And I don't mean fundamentals. I mean patterns and indicators. Very rare you find day traders that study the fundamentals of a company and decide to day trade based on that. I mean, it doesn't hurt if you have the time, obviously, to have all that stuff is good for you. You might know a price level that's never going to go past or whatever. But most people, patterns and in the moment volume. So if you look at how here's just another example. Look at how it hit the 151, 2 cents off, and abruptly turned around. All these people had sell there, and it just fell off. It's just not hard to figure this out. We were looking at this earlier at the 50-cent mark. Now, it won't happen every time, but it happens enough times if you make note of it. Make note of it. Make note of when are the other people trading. More people trade on a 15-minute chart than a 5-minute chart. More people trade on a 30-minute time frame than a 15-minute time frame. And more people trade on a 1-hour time frame than a 30-minute and a 4-hour than all of those time frames. So you want to know, what did they see before you go in? You want to know what is the power inside the 1 minute. I talk about you're on a wave on a surfboard and you're waiting. When you see the volume go higher on the candle that you're looking at and you look at the direction it's going, you get the advantage of seeing how strong it is inside. The MACD also sent this down. This is based on EMA crossovers. This is another amazing indicator. I got it right in here. The MACD. And it is a custom indicator, and it's set on the 926 EMA crossover with alerts. It's coded. You can get that too. That's not $4. That's like $24. But it's very helpful because it literally tells you that said it was going to go down, it went down. That said it was going to go up, it went up. That said it was going to go down, it went down. Sometimes you have to wait a second, the way it reads. And you can see the absorption one is extremely accurate here too. This is the level 2 one. That has arrows. And then down here you have what's your average price, up or down. So it gives you a target range once you get in the trade, right? Once you get in there. So guys, check out trading with indicators. Check out the different videos. I guess my point was that go by historical data first, trade in a simulator, see how you do. But it isn't really rocket science. What rocket science is you saying, I know it's going to change, I know it's going to change, even when the data doesn't say it, or when you've hit your max loss and you stay in, or you add to it to get a better price, and you add again to get a better price, and then you blow out your whole account. Just take the loss because it's not right all the time. The indicators aren't right all the time. The historical data is not right all the time. So once you hit your max loss per trade, whether it be $20, $50, $100, $500, get out. Get out and live to trade another day. You'll see me trade 90% accuracy on the RV strategy, 85% accuracy on the strike and recoil, and sometimes 90. And a lot of days you see me trade 100% accuracy, right? So it can be done. And if you're trading 85 to 90% accuracy, who cares if you lose 2 or 3 or 5 trades? You're going to make money if you stick to your plan. Make a day trading plan. Make sure you're green in a sim for a long time before you try it. Anyway, guys, I'm repeating myself. So look forward to this next video. If you don't already know how to set up a scanner, how to go in the nuts and bolts of Thinkorswim scanner. It's a year old, so it's when I was trading in the kitchen. We'll call it the kitchen. So you can take a look at it. It's interesting. And I don't know how many faux pas and misspeaks I have, but I always have them. So thanks for watching, guys, and look forward to the next video. And I will see you soon. Go green out there. Hey, hello, everyone. This is the professor with Day Trading for Success. I just recorded this entire thing, and my microphone was above my head, so I'm now re-recording. Frustrating. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing a video about the scanners and the different scanners for each of the strategies that we trade, as well as just basically how to use a Thinkorswim to set up scanners. So it should be pretty informative if you don't know that. So we've couple of tricks that we've learned over time on how to get them to for the different stocks that you're looking for. So I'll cover the basics, and I have a bunch pre-set up here that I can drag over to make this a little bit quicker for you. So the one scanners that I'm going to specifically show you how to set up is the Open Strategy Scanner, which I know that the $1 Million Margin Club it's either going to be day trading volume 3 or 4. They're working on the Open Strategy book right now. I know they were asking me questions about it as well, and there's a lot of different ways to trade the open. Now, you've seen the way that I trade it. I wait for the pre-market high or low to be broken, and then I set up fibs a certain way and support and resistance lines a certain way, and that's the way that we trade it here on Day Trading for Success. But believe me, I've heard a lot. I already knew a lot, but I've heard from a lot of the viewers that there's different ways to trade it, and that they feel are a lot better. So basically what the $1 Million Margin Club is doing, like they always do, is massive research with all their huge club member traders, and they're going to try to bring to you a workbook with as many different strategies for the open as you can find, like, taking the break of the day before, even the week before, how far out do you do the fibs and all this. And then now there's a bunch of different ways to trade the open. So I'm not just going to show you scanners. I'm going to talk a little bit about trading. So you have to bear with that. But there's a lot of different ways to trade the open. There's the momentum scanners, and I'm going to show you a momentum scanner that should work for you, that is just looking to capture a big percentage gain or gapper that morning. And you see a bunch of the biggest YouTubers, that's all they do every morning. And you can subscribe to them and watch them and pay and watch them do that trading. We have that exact scanner set up. I mean, I'm sure they would argue, but it's pretty much puts up every single stock that they call out, because many of the $1 Million Margin Clubs are also trade over there in those different areas. So anyway, you can get that for free. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm not taking anything away from them. They deserve to make the money doing what they do, and I get it. But I just want to show you that you don't have to pay for that stuff. Thinkorswim is an amazing tool. So we'll be going over that. Now, while I'm on that in the $1 Million Margin Club, the way that all started was because nobody was logging, and I found that out, that not nobody, but I mean very few people were logging that were watching, and they thought that was just a weird concept to log, and I was freaked out by that. So I was pushing early on. Many of you have been with me since early last year, know that I pushed it, and then finally they created a publishing company, the $1 Million Margin Club, and they put out their very first little simple logbook that it ended up having the open strategy criterion in it, so open strategy can find gappers, yes, and percentage gainers and stuff like that, but there's also you also want to have a criterion. Like I said, there's different ways to trade the open, so when I bring it up, I'll put it there. But I wanted to tell you that they have their own channel, and you should go over there. It's $million-Club Margin Club, $million-Margin Club. Now, I think they only have they very few followers because they don't have much content, but I know they're about to announce that you can become a member of the $1 Million Margin Club. So if you are interested in that and you're watching this video, you should probably go over there and subscribe, because those are going to be the people that hear about it first. I will be putting the videos over here, though, ones that are appropriate. They're going to be making videos about their books. And as you know, they have the Day Trading Volume 1 that has changed trading, we trade here all the time. So I have the scanner setting for that, for the RV strategy. I also will have a scanner setting for the new mid-cap strategy, tweaked a little bit from my sort of debacles last week. Hey, I was still green last week in my defense, but yeah, it's not how I like to trade, struggling to make a couple $100, but you learn as you go along. And I told you it was beta, but it got me kind of depressed. So I was happy to finish the week with more exciting videos, with bigger, tens of thousands of dollars to show you guys that the RV strategy, which is so successful. So so anyway, I'll just get right into it now after that big long speech. Remember, if you like what you see here, to subscribe and to give us a thumbs up. So here is how your scanner is going to open. You can see under my picture, I just shrank it down. Just make sure you click on scan, and this is how it should open. If you ever want to reset your scanner, just push reset and it'll reset for you here. And this is how they open. Now I already have some preset ones here, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it over, some of these over here. Let's see, I have multiple screens here. So this way I can remember with my older brain to how they set this up. Now this is the RV strategy. And one of the things that's unique about this, if you're familiar with setting this up, is this little custom thing down here. So I'll show you how to do that. So we now have a way that's different than the book. If you have that book, you'd have that whole layout in there. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, it had a scanner set up in there, but it's changed because now we have it for 10 days instead of 14 days, but you can still keep it at 14 days. Wilder's 14-day average true range. If I'm losing you guys for scanners, I'm going to show you how to do any scanner, but I'm specifically focusing on the ones for the strategies that people keep asking and are so interested in. That's really why I'm making this video. So you're going to see this, and it's going to give you stocks, and you can add a filter, and you can do studies or a whole bunch of other things. So for the purposes of how we use the scanner, we're going to, on this one, we have 3 stock settings and 1 study setting. So the first one in here is going to be the market cap. So I go up to the market cap here, and then the next one we want is mark, so which is the price, right? And then the next one we're going to do shares, which is the float. Shares mean float. A lot of people they're not really clear about that. It's just clear. And then on the last one, we're going to do this, and I'll save this custom. So let's just get these. So the $1 Million Margin Club, the RV strategy is a 25 billion minimum float. So these are done in millions. So I need 25,000 millions, right? So that's that reading. And then we put the price at a minimum of $100. Okay, and then this is going to be 1 billion minimum float. 1 billion. So, and then I'll just scan right now for a second and make sure that, no, that did not do that right. Billion. I need one more. Do I need one more? I need one more zero. Hang on. Okay, so remember that's million. No, that's a billion. But these are 25,000 million, which equals 25 billion, and that's $100. Now I have no, as you can see from my pre-done one here, this is just detached. So I'm moving to, there's no maximums on any of those. Now we'll get into now let's set this for only 10. That's important on the scanner readings that you understand that. I have 6 screens. I, for a while, used to have 2 screens that were just full of scanners because it was just quicker. So I just click here, click there, change stocks, do all kinds of stuff that I don't do as much anymore. Before I got, pretty successful just trading 1 or 2 stocks, I jumped around like most of us do in the beginning, and I kept trying to, FOMO, trying to find a stock that was the best stock until I realized that once you get a good strategy going, all the trades are there every day you can get a trade, so you're not, if you feel like you're missing out, it's a bad state of mind, because there will always be trades. Now on the momentum Momo stocks, like on the other YouTubers that are doing the really, really fast ones, okay, yes, sometimes if that's all you do, you'll have bad days where you just shouldn't trade. But mid cap, large caps, and mostly small caps, develop at least a strategy for each of those, and there will always be 3 to 5 stocks to trade every day that fit within your strategy. Famous last words, right? But anyway, so you want that 10, just show 10 stocks so you don't, oh, I was starting to say the reason, the reason why I was talking about how I used to have them all over the place, and they slow down your computer like terribly, and your computer, and when you shut it off, it's not reconciling. You put it back on, it's even slower the next day. So a couple tricks I found out, and I do have a video that shows how to speed up your platform, and it gives all my specifications for the equipment that I have. But basically, from spending a lot of time with Thinkorswim, trying to figure out what was going on, and having other experts come in, they basically explained to me that stuff is not reconciling. Stuff is floating around and taking up my memory all the time, and the speed of my computer. So how do you resolve that? Well, during the day that you're trading, don't have that much stuff open, for one thing. So there's no reason I need this at 50. I mean, you probably could get away with 5 here, but 10 doesn't seem to slow it down. And then the other trick that I talk about is every day when you start, open up your saved layout, your clean layout that you built before you took any trades. Save it, and then open that up every morning. It's got no bugs. It's got nothing that's trying to reconcile from many, many days and weeks and months if you've never done that. And suddenly it's like, wow, it's like you got twice the speed of everything. So that's the tricks about that. So here's one of the things, just less number of showing stocks, right? Now let's get into the crossover. You go down here to custom, right? And then you're going to go into edit. And then you're going to change it from your crossover to, you're going to make a study, and then you're going to make that into ATR. So that's going to be your study. You're going to make that 10 days. You're going to say is equal or greater than over here. You're going to select a condition. So study, and you want the ATR here. And then on that, we're going to make that 10 days again. Now remember, Wilder's is 14 days, but that's okay. We don't... let's just see, is that, it's not equal or greater than, yeah, okay, so this doesn't have everything I want here. This is supposed to say, supposed to be a number in there already. I don't understand why there's not a number here already, but, so I'm going to make that, oops, I'm sorry, I'm going to make that a 5, so the ATR of 5. This 10 is greater than equal to the ATR length of 10 from 5 bars ago. That's not right. All right, guys, I'm getting that wrong. Hang on a second here. I just made this video and got it right the last time. So what am I doing wrong this time? Is this not on ATR? 10 equal to greater. Offset's right. That's right. This should not say is equal or greater than. Okay. Well, I'm just going to cancel this. I'm going to actually just take this off and start from scratch to see where I went wrong here. So let me just add a study. We'll go down here to custom, and then we'll go to edit. Is greater than or equal to. I'll do that first this time. I'll go into the study and pick an ATR, and then do 10, and then select a condition. Maybe I'm supposed to push a value. Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do, right? That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Bars are going to be days, and this should equal 5. It's greater than or equal to 5 within 10 bars. 10 days, 5 within 10 bars. Okay, so I'm going to say okay. And does that say the same thing? Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the setup one already down here. So yeah, I was picking study instead of value. So if you make that mistake, that's what happened. So anyway, now I scan, And these are, if you're used to watching the RV strategy, you can see. Now you want to make sure this is descending over here. And you can also just make sure that you do this by volume. And then scan again. It's going to change the order of everything. Well, Tesla's almost always going to be on top. Now, as people asked about why, when we trade the RV strategy at the $1 Million Margin Club, when they're here too, why don't we trade Tesla? Because Tesla doesn't move sideways in the range-bound strategy. RV strategy is based on a consolidating thing. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, you can make a very good point that we trade NVIDIA all the time, and NVIDIA is trading like Tesla. But you can see the difference in volume, that this is a lot more volatile. Tesla's always been that way. Well, for 3 years now, it's been crazy. So anyway, that's the reason for that. But now these are all RV stocks that you can choose from. And then when you go to the RV stock, obviously, you either in day trade in volume 1 or watch some of the videos, there's other criterion that you're looking for to make sure it rates like a 7, 8, or 9 in the criterion to pick the best possible stock to trade for range bound. So follow that criterion, and then you pick. I usually mess around with set up a couple of them. I'm lately ending up with either AMD or NVIDIA. I was trading Meta a lot. These don't move as much. I mean, Microsoft's up there this week, but I'm surprised it's even up here. I'm surprised its ATR is that high, actually. But anyway, these are some of the other ones to trade. Okay, so that's that scanner, guys. That is for large cap. That's how you would set up a scanner for large cap. Now let me move to another one. Let's go to mid cap. And those of you that are waiting for the exciting open one, it will be coming up. So we're going to reset. I'm just going to show you the other settings now. I'm not going to type them all in again. So now this one is set for mid cap. Now, if you've been watching me struggle with the new strategy for that we're in beta testing right now, this is only going to be a $2 ATR. The same way you set it up, and instead of pushing a 5, you push it's only got to move $2 within the last 10 bars. We have the price between 5 and 350. You could lower that to $50. It depends on what your trading thing is. I wouldn't go less than 5, but just because the way it moves. You saw how thickly traded it gets when the stock gets cheaper. One of the key things that we've noticed when beta testing it, if you get up past $25, $30, you don't have it it moves a little quicker if you can get one that has any volume, but this, you take the good with the bad, right? But anyway, so then you try to put a minimum volume of something, right? And then you have the minimum float of at least 35 million. So you've got a decent stock. And this is the market cap between 2 billion and 10 billion. So this is the only thing you might want to change, unless you want to mess with the volume and stuff, is the price. And then when you scan, I've already scanned this one. So yeah, when you scan, this is on descending. This is set for volume. This is set for 10. Everything I just said before. And if you guys were watching with us, some of the problems with some of the mid caps that come up. Now remember, you can call Thinkorswim. There's 2 problems: not offering margin, and if you go on TD Ameritrade or Schwab on their actual website, not the trading platform, you can go in. There's a way to keep it up. And I've been lately, when I'm doing the mid cap, just been keeping the screen open and up, because I can just type in, you can check to see if it's marginable. Because if it isn't, you can still trade it and not realize it. And then suddenly, you're waiting for stuff to settle, and everything, it screws up your whole thing. It could screw up your whole thing for weeks. You could get a violation, that. So you got to make sure it's marginable. And then the next thing is shortable. A lot of people think if it says hard to borrow, that doesn't mean you can't do it. you got to call up and say, what's the deal? And then they're going to charge you. Or sometimes they'll say no. And it might have a lot to do with how much is in your account. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I have not found a stock yet that I can't get to short if I really want to. The problem is that the cost just becomes too high to short it. It's just how much they want to short it. It's not worth it. And there's plenty of other stocks that that you can find. But that's the situation with Mara. Either I can't remember if it wasn't marginable or you couldn't short it, because that was a great one. That was moving really good, and you can see, look at the volume of that. That would have been a great one to trade. I think I might have traded it once because I got away doing it because I made the deal. But I mean, I just have a pretty much standing deal that I'll pay this much percentage. I'd rather not. And I don't know, I haven't tried this one yet, Wolf. But some of these others, you know, so if they're in here, you know that they've made it. You saw me trading, I forget what it was last week. It was terrible. It was an ATR of like, it was under $1. It's right around $1. So it was just horrendous. Or maybe it was 40. I don't know what it was. It was so low, and it was so stacked up because so many people could buy it. And then since I only trade on market, it would, you know, and I had 3,000 shares if you were watching, and it was just like every time I pushed market, I lost a penny or two, which is $30 to $60. So you had to be like $100 ahead on the trade, and you'd end up being only 30 ahead. And if you weren't at least 100 ahead, you'd lose money. So if the stock's only moving, I remember that my entire chart that I had, you know, opened up pretty, you know, not that wide. It was like 6 cents from top to bottom. It was terrible. So yeah, we're still working on that mid cap. But anyway, this is what we believe is going to be the criterion right now for the mid cap. So if you're trying to trade that type of a stock, this is a good one for that. And then now we'll go on to the piece de resistance, so to speak. So this is, and I'm going to show you how to save all this stuff in some of my other settings as well. So this is the one for the momentum ones that people pay money for from all those services that you actually can do this yourself. So the first settings are very easy, you know, like we've just gone over. Your price, this is set for last. This is the same as Mark, right? The price. So you can set that for $1 to 75. I don't know how much you want to go. You really shouldn't. I mean, whatever. You trade how you want to trade. You get below $1, it gets to be so volatile and sketchy that you really, I like it to be $2. I set this. A lot of people have it at $1 and then 75 high, but you can make that 20 high. You know, maybe you don't want to go that high, and then you have the minimum volume of 100,000. But all of that doesn't really matter. This matters. You want a maximum float of 35 million. Almost every momentum trader has that setting on their scanners. It means it's only selling that many shares over and over and over again very, very quickly. The same ones are being bought and sold, 35 million. And that's not, that might seem like a lot to you, but when you have a volume that's like every minute candle is 100, 200, 300,000 and more, you sell all their shares 50 times over in a day of trading. They just keep rotating in a circle. So this means more volatile. If you get higher float than that, it slows it down. And then this is the unusual volume setting that you want. So basically, it's set for at least 50% from a typical average over 25 periods. The periods are 5 minutes. So over 5 minutes now, not days, it's saying it's gone up 50% in 25 5-minute increments. So that's a very hot moving stock at that moment of the day that you're trading it. And it could be, it's only been, 3 periods, 4 periods. It's just shot through the roof. So again, you want descending, and then you want to show just 10. And let me just show you about unusual volume. So unusual volume is right here. Where did it go? Right here, yeah. So unusual volume is right there. And it just came right back up there. But then you just do then this bar will come up. That's under study. Now remember, you're adding maybe I didn't show you this, but I have the stock settings up there, and then I have the study. I think I must have had to open a study in the first place to show you guys the first one. So yeah, you open up study, and that's a study, right? Now this is going to get you all the fastest moving stocks. So if you traded on Friday, I saw some of the people that trade on Friday, and I heard horror stories that lots of people were seriously red, 10 and 15 and 20,000, and other people were seriously green. So even though a stock is gone up, you can lose money, as you know. So it just depends on how fast you go in and get out. But this was the big one for the day, and I I swear to you guys, and I'm not trying to take money away from the people that subscribe, that sell the service, but these are the same stocks that you're seeing when you buy that service. I mean, I would be amazed if there's one missing. Now, you can set this up a certain way to exclude things, and they can say, I mean, I'm not going to imply anything, but everybody has a right to make a living, and if they make it easier for you to do this, then great. But if you've got Thinkorswim, you're going to find enough high momentum Momo stocks to trade, and you can speed all these things up and make it different. And this is the one that I've found that when I trade the open, if I'm doing this type of momentum trading, which I mostly do on light speed when I do this kind of trading, because Thinkorswim, it's difficult for Thinkorswim to do this kind of trading, but you can do it. You can definitely do it. And you'd probably want to do limit orders. You get partials. It's not really the way I'm showing to do the market, order strategy on the RV strategy, the escalator strategy, and the open strategy that you've seen on the channel. This would be a different type of trading where you're mostly trying to go in and out on the bid and the ask, as opposed to automatically getting filled. I have an offset setup that I use on pre-market that I still haven't shared with anybody yet. I'm a little afraid to take you guys down that road because you can lose so much money with this kind of trading. But anyway, this is the setup for the momentum traders. So if you momentum scanners. Now you can see over here, I have a bunch of different. So that's a scalping scanner that I just showed you. I'm just showing you right now at the open. I showed you this one. This is the large cap RV strategy one. And then the mid cap and beta testing's right here. And then I have a bunch of other ones that either were beta testing or ones I still use from time to time. I definitely have ones for earnings, for aftermarket, before market, when the announcements are. This is basically trading on news. And it's a whole different style of trading that I haven't covered yet. And this is some of the most successful multi-millionaires. This is all they do, is they trade on news and earnings. And it's a real strategy that at some point the $1 Million Margin Club will probably put out a book about it. I know that in their log books, because they have a bunch of log books if you go to their authors page on Amazon, and they have each one of the 6 logbooks has 4 different strategies from like the biggest traders in the world that were used in competition and stuff like that. So you might want to check out their authors page about those books. So, and they do cover some of the ones that make so much money on this stuff are in there, and then they detail the strategies that they use. So it's an interesting for a cheap little log book. It's all trying to get you to log because they're not making much money on a $12 book. But and then I have these here. They're just different ones that you do. Now you remember here. You've also got the ones that they make that are kind of cool. They have gaps up, gaps down, and you should definitely check those out. Some of these are very close to the momentum ones that you would make yourself. I think it's such a great thing that they allow you to do that. Of course, now, that they offer the service of these. So if you're saving, this is going to pop up, the one that I have open here. You just press save, you name it and just press save. And then it'll be back up here again to load. It'll be over here now under your personal. So that's pretty much the whole thing, guys. Those are the 3 setups I use. I think with that bit of information I've given you, you can mess around and make your own scanners, and then every day just push scan, or someday when you're checking them all out, just keep scanning and writing down notes. And that's what I did. Like, hey, what stocks had it dropped by me changing these days or periods or percentages or gaps, or am I losing some that were just there 10 minutes ago on a different setting? You make notes, you trial and error. That's why I said I had 2 screens just set up with scanners to see, and I got so I tightened it, and then this is what I came up with that got most of all the momentum ones, because I could see what the other scanners were showing for the services that you pay, because I used to buy services as well, and I was comparing what was the best service, and then I realized when I came to Thinkorswim, which I originally wasn't, they had everything, and you just don't think that anybody does, but it's right here, and it's just like, it's so easy and it's free. you know, and I'm showing you how to do it for free. So you're all set now. You didn't have to spend a dime if you didn't already subscribe. So, but I would challenge them to show a scanner that you can't build here, because unfortunately for them, there's going to be more and more people that get the idea that this can be done. Okay, guys. So so next week I'll be showing you more. I mean, I have a bunch I haven't even released yet, so you'll see some of those. But I will be making one on that new scalpers indicator. I was a little surprised last week when I saw, which I'm sure you heard me, that the 51 back and the 1 candle back were merging together. And I was surprised that was happening. But the brand new one that you can set for any time increment, the new scalping indicator, is really, it's phenomenal that such a thing exists to help people that want to do, for instance, this kind of trading, mid cap, or the, I know this isn't that video, but I'll make that video. But this is what the scalping indicator would really help you with, is this momentum style trading. So I'll make a video about that too, but that's not this video. So that's just a teaser. So, all right, guys, stay green out there. Thanks for watching. Be careful. Trade in a sim first, whatever strategy you're trading, and make sure it's working. And then remember, psychologically, when you're in a sim, it's going to be a lot harder when you go live. So cut your share size down at that point, and then make sure it's working for 5 shares, 10 shares. Make a trading plan that max loss per trade, max loss per day. Stick with it. Stick with that. It is opportunities every day. If you're in a mode where I got to make this money and I got to make it now and I only have 10 days or 30 days or 1 year, it's too much. It's too much pressure. Yeah, too much pressure, because the trades won't be there that fast in the way that you want them. So it's sort of a slow, steady. Actually, day trading isn't that slow compared to like Warren Buffett buy Coca-Cola and wait 50 years, but it's exciting and fast, really. But if you're watching the videos we put out or the videos other people put out, you're thinking, oh, I can make $10,000 and every day, and it just doesn't work that way. It's a slow journey to get to where you can be profitable on a consistent basis. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Stay green.